Rolex Flippers, the good, the bad and the ugly.
I did it! I managed to get a Rolex watch from an AD. I'm gonna sell it to you guys.
First of all, we need to actually understand what a Rolex Flipper is. A Rolex Flipper is a person who buys with the intention of selling on the open market. What I mean by that is a person who intentionally puts themselves on the Rolex lists at ADs to buy a watch with no intention of keeping it and to sell it on. So there's three parts to this story. So we've got the Rolex AD, the Flipper,
I'm gonna sell it to you guys.
and then we've got the independent dealer like ourselves. All three people are very important and vital parts of the jigsaw. So the AD, some of them knowingly do sell these watches to their clients, knowing that they are going to sell them on the open market to dealers like us. So this is a vital part of the process. So the good points with the Rolex Flipper are they do actually bring watches to the open market to sell to dealers like us. The bad side of that is they are taking the place of a genuine person who genuinely wants to buy that watch to keep it. There's a system that goes on with ADs and Flippers where they knowingly, sometimes with incentives to sell to them, under the table or not, will sell them more watches than they should be doing, that their lists are allowing them to, because they know that they're going to get some form of, let's say, backhander. So the problem I've got with that is the people that actually do that, they are blatantly buying them and selling them for a profit. Now, when I say problem, if you or me were in the same position, would you say no? Absolutely not. Of course you wouldn't. Anybody in that position, it's like free money. You're being given an item that you've paid for that you can go sell for a lot more the same day than what you've paid for it. And that you cannot deny. Nobody would turn down free money. That is not the problem. The problem is the way that it's done. In actual fact, they're not the problem. It's the ADs. Now, I don't want to call out the ADs in a bad way and say, all Rolex ADs are bad, because they're not. They're not all bad, but there are certain ones out there, and Rolex know which ones they are because they have their own team of personal shoppers and private shoppers trying to find out which ones are actually doing it. And they're the ones that are causing the problem because they're the ones that are flooding the market and encouraging the flippers to buy them and sell them on to independent dealers like us. So at the end of the day, they're just playing the game. They're not doing anything wrong, the flippers, in my opinion. They're just playing the game. They've got the opportunity to go to a shop, buy something, make a lot of money, and then go buy another one. So they're not doing anything wrong. They're not the problem. The ADs are the problem. We, as what independent dealers, which sometimes people call grey market dealers, which to be honest with you, I don't particularly like. Some dealers don't mind it. I don't particularly like it. We're the ones that are frowned upon, but in its actual fact, the flippers, they're the ones that are making the most money. We have a small margin to make on the money that we actually lay out. If you actually understood how much money we have to lay out to buy a watch and how much actual margin we've got, less our VAT, less everything else, all our fees, all our commission, you'd be extremely surprised how much we make compared to the flipper. They're the ones making the big profit. They're the ones, going to the bank and keep rebuying and keep rebuying. We have to buy a stock, we have to buy a watch, and we have to sell it for a profit. The only difference is all watches now go over list. So when I started in this business 7.5 years ago, we were buying and selling watches under list price. GMT Batmans, Bulks, Daytonas, you name it. We were buying them 6.5 grand. I think list was about 6-7. We're buying them and selling them under list. It's only ADs and Rolex themselves that have created this waiting list and this demand. So they're the ones that have created the demand, and that's why they now sell for over list. Very clever. But that's introduced the flipper. The flipper has slipped into this position where they can facilitate the watch coming from the AD to the independent dealer and making the big profits. So one of the bad sides to a flipper is the fact that they're taking somebody's place up on the list that is a genuine buyer that has no chance whatsoever. We all know that when clients try to get on Rolex AD's list, they're interrogated, they're asked what they do, their inside trouser leg, where the family lives, you name it, they ask it. They want an interrogation that normally, or an interview as they call it, where you walk in to buy one of their items. What business have you got in the world where you've seen something you like online, you want to buy something, you go to a store and you're told you can't buy it. You can't buy it. You have to go on a list. We've got these watches here. They're for exhibition only. Would you like to have a look, sir? Can I buy it? No, I'm just going to show you it and you're not allowed to buy it. So what sort of industry has been created like that? Again, very clever, but disappointing for the buyer. What we hear every day, day in, day out, all I want to do is buy a watch. That's why independent dealers like us are so busy. Not only do they want to buy it, they want to buy it now. They don't want to wait. They don't want to buy on a promise of waiting 2 to 4 years. They don't want to buy another watch that they don't want to buy or they really like just to get the one potentially that they want. They don't want to go down that process. They want to go to a company where they can enjoy the experience of going, buying the watch, sitting down, trying on the different models, having a coffee, discussing different options, enjoying the experience, rolling the red carpet out, giving them the superstar treatment. And that's what they should get from an AD. And all they get is an interrogation. They get questioned to why they actually want to buy that brand. And for me, that is the biggest downside with Rolex. I love Rolex. I love the brand. They're the best brand out there for me. We sell them day in, day out, and I'll back the brand Rolex forever. But the downside is the experience the clients get, and that's why dealers like us are so busy, and we have so many repeat clients, because we have so many clients that come to us and they will say, it's better than an AD. It's better than going to Rolex, is this. I'm never going to go back to an AD. I didn't enjoy the experience. I thought they were rude. I thought they were arrogant. I'm not saying all of them, so I'm certainly not going to blacklist all of them, but they do not enjoy the experience. And that's one thing that we do offer and other independent dealers offer, is the experience of buying a luxury high-end item that you've dreamed about, your grail watch. It's a massive achievement in life to be able to buy your own watch, and to be able to go actually physically do that with a trusted company, and enjoy the experience. That's what buying a Rolex should be about. The ugly. This is good stuff for you guys. So this is a typical example of a flipper. Had a phone call from a client the other day wanting to sell one of his watches. So he got offered 2 watches by 2 different ADs. So quite a few clients are on different ADs. List to edge the bets, don't blame them. And he said, I'm in a terrible situation. And what do you mean? He went, I had a call from 2 ADs within 2 weeks offering me both the same watches. And I'm like, that must have been terrible for you. What an awful day that must have been. It must have been awful to take that phone call. And he starts laughing, and I'm thinking, are these people for real? Are they actually for real? They're getting offered free money and they're going, I'm in this awful situation. Everybody would love and dream of being in that situation. But that's the way some of them look at it. They look as though it's a problem that they've actually been offered 2 watches. And that's not the problem with them in particular. It's the problem with the market that's making them like that, and the greed that some people do show on their moral values. All the time we get price matched. One of the bad sides to a flipper is we do get price matched all the time. So what they'll do is they will ring you up, you give a price reluctantly because they're going to try and go down the road for another £50-100. Next thing is you never get a call back, and they've actually gone and done the same. You found out they've sold it to another dealer for just a slightly bit more. So the price matching thing that goes on, that is the downside for us independent dealers with flippers. There's no loyalty. They will sell you out down the road, and that is one of the bad sides, and it is one of the harder sides of our industry, because as us, our name is everything. We're trusted, all our dealers, we're all trusted between ourselves. Our name means more than any watch. For me personally, it goes against my morals. So serious flippers out there, they're very well aware of the proper dealers out there, the independent companies who are very confidential. They do understand the actual market. They do understand that choosing their dealer is very important. They do it, they're almost like professional flippers, for want of a better word. They understand that they do need to not lose their place, and they do everything to make sure that they don't. The bad side of that is once they've sold us it, they feel like that we can actually physically sell it on again, which is ridiculous. So one of the things, guys, that is quite distasteful and does happen quite a lot in the last sort of few months, years on YouTube, is there are some flippers out there who do videos on the actual experience. They'll rub your nose in it. They're basically bragging, showing off, showing the experience, showing the weaknesses within the industry, showing that they can do it and they can make money doing it. And I just find that a really negative thing, not only for us guys, but for you, mainly for you people out there, because at the end of the day, there's genuine people that'll be watching this video that will get really frustrated, because at the end of the day, they genuinely want to buy a watch. They know the process is extremely hard. They might not have the funds in place to be able to pay the grey market price, for want of a better word, so they genuinely want to get on the list, and they know they've no chance, because these professional flippers have got the foot in the door, they've got it locked down, they've got it sewn up with the AD, they're doing whatever to get whatever watches, and you've no chance. And that is the sad thing, and you have to sit and watch a video of somebody that's literally rubbing your nose in it, that what they can do and what they can't do, and that's what's wrong with the industry. The problem you guys have got is these people that are professional flippers, they understand the process extremely well, so they will lie about the job, they'll lie about where they potentially live, they'll lie about their social medias, they'll create fake things, they will create this facade of who they actually are and their online presence or footprint, and they will actually make sure that they're guaranteeing that they get the watch. So they'll just literally manipulate the system. It's one of them things, when you look at systems, is the system wrong or is the person wrong? So if the system was tightened up, then they won't actually be able to do it. But there's always going to be people out there in the world who will look at any situation and look to maximize it the most in their situation. But the problem with that is the genuine people like you guys out there can't actually get on the list, and that is extremely disappointing. You know, if there's a surplus of watches, it wouldn't be a problem. You wouldn't have a problem with them flipping them, but because there isn't, and there is this supply and demand problem, you guys out there literally have no chance of getting on the list for your watch, and that is extremely disappointing.